Okay guys, so this is a video that I've been meaning to make for a while now, but ever since one of my more recent videos where I talked about a date that I went on that I really didn't want to classify as a date for the simple reason that, I talked about how people who date today really kind of date for the wrong reasons. A lot of times it's just about trying too much to impress somebody you hardly know in an attempt to get something from them. And that's not really my approach. So the irony of the video was I called it a date, but it really wasn't, but then it really was. So we went out, we had a good time, and hopefully we have more good times. That remains to be seen. Based on that video is that a lot of people was asking me about how did it go, and some people even prior to that video would ask me about how is dating life here in Dallas, because of the fact that I moved from New York, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching this video, I'm assuming if you're asking about dating or you're watching this video, I'm gonna assume that you're single, right? And you wanna know how is it out here in terms of comparison to where you may be. Now, let me start off by saying this. It depends on what it is that you are looking for, okay? If you're looking to just sleep around, you could do that anywhere you go. But if you're looking for something meaningful, then yes, here might be a bit easier compared to other places, simply because of the fact that people here are a bit more, accommodating, nicer in terms of approaching. Doesn't mean that you're gonna have a full-blown, relationship where everything's gonna go well. You still gotta put in that effort, and that's a whole different topic. But as far as meeting people, it's not difficult to meet people. But it can be difficult for people who are not used to interacting with other people. Now, it's all about getting out of your comfort zone. My approach, when I approach people, specifically women, I don't approach it like it's the end of the world. I don't expect every female that I go up to is going to be interested in me. It is what it is, but life goes on. I have an abundance mentality. If a woman ain't down, I keep it moving. That's it. Either you in or you out. I know what I bring to the table, and you should too. But if you kind of approach a situation where you have high expectations so early on, then yes, you could be setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, your environment to me plays about, I want to say 20% of the equation. The other 80% is how do you approach people? What are you looking for in a relationship? Do you know what you want in a relationship? And do you have standards? Because most people don't have standards, and most people don't know what they want. So they just kind of float around aimlessly, meeting random people and, ending up in a bad situation. 20% in terms of your environment, it is important because, for example, if I meet somebody who is in a bar or a strip club, right? Wink, wink on the strip club. Obviously, the type of female that I'm gonna meet out there is probably a little bit shaky in terms of long-term expectations, right? But if I meet somebody maybe at a social gathering, a fundraiser, an art museum, something that is, an acquired taste, that person may have more substance to them. You may have more in common with that person than somebody that you just meet randomly who goes to the bar. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the bar or the lounge or the club or anything like that. I'm just saying if you're there every week in an attempt to pick up a guy or pick up a girl, then obviously the quality of who you're looking for and the standards is not very high, okay? That's basically, to me, sounds like you just looking to hook up, which, hey, I'm not saying I'm not against it. That's what you want to do. Hey, have at it. I'm just saying it depends on what it is that you're looking for, okay? Now, what makes Dallas to me different compared to other places is the fact that this environment, people are a bit more laid back. They're a lot easier to approach. Now, in my experience, most of the women that I meet out here, they're not really from Dallas. Like, there's people who may have lived here for a couple of years, but they're usually from somewhere else. Meeting a lot of people from California lately, Denver, North Carolina, Virginia, ATL. It's like they're from different parts, albeit still the South. And so they come with a certain type of, there's a certain culture where they want to take care of themselves. in which I see a lot of the women out here, they're exercising, they want to take care of themselves, they want to be presentable, right? Because they want to try to attract, a good mate. But in approaching them, because of the fact that their situation, they're a bit more laid back, it's easy to approach them. Now, if you have a problem approaching people or you approach somebody negatively, then you're gonna get a negative response. That's not gonna change. But in my experience, I find that because people out here are a lot less stressed compared to other places, as long as you present yourself the right way and you're non-threatening, you're gonna at least have a conversation with that person. And then you find out, hey, can you take it to the next step in terms of meeting up, getting to know the person better, and you go from there. Now, if you're somebody who has a hard time doing that, wherever you at now, you're gonna have a hard time doing that here. Because remember, you're coming in, nobody knows you, nobody knows what you're about. So you gotta put in the effort. Now, here's some things that you could do, right? Obviously, we know that there's dating apps out there. I'm not a big fan of it. It's sort of like a necessary evil. It at least gets you in the game, You're not playing on the highest level, but at least you're in the game, okay? But the quality of people that you're gonna meet on there most of the time is going to be a complete joke. But hey, at least it gets you, talking to people, and maybe you could, all right, you may not be a relationship that come out of it, but maybe you guys could be cool, and maybe you can meet somebody else through that person. So some of the dating apps, I'm sure you already know, you got your Tinders, Plenty of Fish, Meetup app, Match. Now I will say I met a lot of people who actually did Match.com and actually met their mates, and so the difference between that and a Tinder is because Match.com people gotta actually pay for. You're still gonna have some troll accounts on there, but at least you gotta pay for it, so at least you know that, chances are you are talking to somebody who is serious about looking for somebody that they may want to settle down or have fun with, right? So you got your apps, you got, your social events that go on. Go to these things, interact with different people. Maybe you can make friends, right? And then let them know you're single and that you're open to looking for somebody, and they could introduce you to somebody else. That happens a lot too, right? So you really gotta kind of put yourself out there. That's the main thing. You gotta put yourself out there. If you're a dude, don't be a jerk. If you're a female, don't be, all rude and hostile. Sometimes it calls for that in both ways, but for the most part, again, the people out here are pretty laid back and the scene is there, right? Also, again, if you live in an environment, if you live in an area in Dallas where it's mostly residential, then obviously you're gonna see more families. You're not gonna see more of the millennials, the more, people in your age group. I live in an area where I'm gonna see a lot more people in my age group. There's a lot more singles around here walking around. There's a lot more groups of people that come out here just to hang out. So you gotta consider which part are you at. And even if you're in a quiet area, you just gotta understand that you may have to go outside that area every now and then in order to meet somebody that you can talk to. I know I'm kind of talking a lot with my hands, that's just what I do. But that's really, the main thing that I would say, guys. I don't want to make this video too long, but I want to try to get out everything that I can. You got to have an abundance mentality. You got to present yourself the right way. You got to take care of you, and make sure that when you are dating, that you're dating for the right reasons. You're not dating just to put somebody in your life just to make yourself happy. Because I'll be the first to tell you, just because you're in a relationship does not make you happy. Just because you're dating somebody does not mean that, it's going to end up all fairy tales, right? Make sure that you're happy first and foremost. The more you know about yourself, the more you know about what you want, the easier it's going to be when you do meet somebody to align yourself with somebody who has similar goals, similar drive as you, and that way you guys can get together and do great things. But don't just get with people because you're lonely or anything like that, because that's a you problem, and you should be able to be alone. You should be able to have fun. You should be able to do things that you want to do organically, and whoever it is that you meet should not bring stress into your life. That's my approach to it, guys. That's the video. Hopefully you guys got something from it. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. And you know, drop some comments down below. Let me know what it is that you want to know that I maybe didn't cover. But guys, I'm gonna be out. It's your boy Built for Anything. Peace and love. I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out. I got another date I gotta go to. Feel me?